Hello and welcome to the Flipping and Wholesaling Houses in New York show. I am Michael Pinter, where I teach you how to start flipping or wholesaling houses in New York, or if you're already doing it, how to grow your business. Today we are talking about the do's and don'ts of flipping houses. I am sitting in horrible traffic as I leave Port Washington and drive through Manhasset. I'm right by the Manhasset Mall. Okay. So, I'll do a do and a don't. So you can know, first of all, when we say flipping houses, it can mean a lot of things, right? Flipping houses in the industry usually means buying a house, fixing it up, and then selling it. That's flipping. So let's stick with that and sort of stay away a little bit from wholesaling, although there will be some things that are the same. The do's of flipping houses, this is actually the same as wholesaling, is that you should be marketing to sellers. You should be marketing to sellers. Now, there are a lot of ways to market to sellers. The simplest ways are to buy a list of people likely to sell, either because they're old and lived in the house a long time, or there's some kind of distress. You buy a list. It's easy to buy a list. I can help you with that. You can go to ListSource or Listability, and then you skip trace that list. And you can just mail that list if you want. Mailing is expensive, but you can also skip trace the list. That means get phone numbers from that list, and then you can call or text yourself or have somebody else call or text that list. And you want to market to sellers, and you want to basically just simply ask, are you interested in selling the property? And you are trying to get the 10%, right? Because in any given market, on average, in any given market, 90% of the properties are going to sell listed by an agent for full price, and 10% are going to sell off market to investors like me. Now, you want to market and get some market share of that 10%. I cannot believe this lady just made a U-turn in the middle of the street. But okay. So, wow. Actually, I might have done the same thing. So, the do is you want to market for deals. And even though it's a long, lengthy process, you want to be doing that because you want to be able to buy properties at a significant discount. And the only way to buy properties at a significant discount is to market direct to sellers. Now, the biggest don't of flipping houses is you don't want to overpay for the property. Obviously, and I know this goes without saying, but I can't tell you how many people are just thirsty for a deal, thirsty for a deal, and they will pay more and sort of massage the numbers to make it work. So I've seen recently somebody who they paid too much for a property, and I knew it, and I saw it, and I said, listen, you paid too much. At this point, let me recommend what you should do. But they were telling me, well, these are the comps that I got. And when I looked at the comps and I said, listen, you're using comps that are not comparable, right? Comps are supposed to be comparable sales. These properties are not comparable, and this is why. Your property is on this size lot, this property on that size lot. Your properties are in this. Your property's on this side of the street, that property's on the other side of the street, that's a better area. And what happens a lot with people is that they go into a property wanting it to work, and they start massaging all the numbers. Then I asked them what their estimate was for the construction, and it was way too low. And I said, you're going to spend more than that, right? And believe me, I'm a guy who always pushes people to spend as little as possible. But if you are not careful, you usually end up spending, even if you are careful, you usually end up spending more. For a property than you think. So that is the first do and don't. Another do on flipping houses is, and this comes right up against what we said, is you want to do as little as possible to make money. So what does that mean? So let me explain. For the first 4 years, really, I gotta get out of this lane. For the first 4 years of me buying properties, I bought everything at auction, either a live auction or an online auction, and I got renovated the whole property. I wanted to be Tara Musa from Flip or Flop. I wanted open concept. I ridiculously believed that my house would be so nice. No one could say no to them. People will always say no to a house. Don't worry. It can be not your fault at all. And what I realized about 6 years ago was that I'm going to do as little as possible. And the reason why you want to do as little as possible is because A, you could always do more work, right? So if you improve a house and you can't get prices and everybody goes, well, your bathroom looks like crap and your kitchen looks like crap, you can always do a bathroom and kitchen. Sorry about that. You can always do more work, right? Always. You can never do less work once you've done the work. That's number one. Number two is the difference between what somebody will pay for like a 5 or a 6, or even a 5 or 6 or 7 out of 10 house, and what people pay for a 9 or a 10 out of 10 house, that difference has been getting smaller and smaller. And I think it'll continue to get smaller and smaller as there really is an artificial lack of supply in the market right now, right? There just aren't a lot of houses to find. And that's mostly due to the government intervention and eviction moratorium and foreclosure moratorium. That's not what we're talking about now. But the point is that you can probably sell a house that's in pretty good shape or just in decent shape for much closer to a fully renovated house than you think, right? People think, oh, there's a huge difference. It's not always the case, and you have to know your area and your market. Now, a don't is, and this is the other side of this coin, is don't over improve. So very often I'll see people who will really take a property down to the studs and do it, and I look at them like they're out of their mind, and I'm like, you had a decent house here, you're gonna have a nice house, but you're not really getting. There are only a few things that sell houses, right? It's kitchens, bathrooms, flooring, walls. That's it, right? Mechanicals have to be good, roof has to be good, but if you got a good kitchen and good bathrooms, and the walls and floors are nice, that's all there is. So people tell me, well, I redid all the plumbing and I redid all the, where the hell am I? And I redid all the electrical. People don't give two shits about that. They want to see the panel is nice, but they don't know what's behind the wall. So doing that stuff is usually a mistake. Okay, another do of flipping houses is you need to do accurate budgeting. So this is important because, again, I see people screw this up all the time. I see people come up with, and we spoke about this before, so you pay, not just paying too much, but coming up with numbers that just don't make sense. I see it all the time. And I think it's important that you realize, am I in the right place here? I don't know where the hell I am. 1 second. What I see is people coming up with crazy numbers, right? I've seen people come up with an estimate. I've had people bring me deals and honestly believe they weren't trying to screw me over. They're just giving me deals, and they were $400,000 to $500,000 off on the ARV, the after repair value. And I say to them, what are you doing? And they show me one comp that is not comparable. And somebody gave me a number in a town. I don't even remember what town it was. There was one beautiful, massive mansion that sold that was on the water, and they were telling me that I'm going to build houses that would have been worth $400,000 or $500,000. I'm going to get $1 million from it. I'm like, what are you talking about? And they weren't trying to screw me over. They honestly believed that was accurate. So the skill of comping out properties and coming up with values is something you only get by really working at it and doing it a bunch of times. And the advantage, and this is the main do, is when you're starting, you want to work with somebody who knows what they're talking about. So I have a lot of people who bring me deals, and I tell them, listen, this is a deal at this price, it is not a deal above that price. And the main advantage, what nobody tells you when all the gurus in the industry, is that it's not so simple to know what a deal is, right? We think we're going to get a list, and we're going to call people, and they're going to go, I need to sell in 5 minutes for any price. That's not what's going to happen. They're usually going to have a number in mind. They're going to say, listen, I need $300,000, and it might be because they have to pay off a loan. It might be because they need that money to go somewhere else. But you're not going to know right away whether that's a deal or not. So when you run a deal like that by me or somebody else who's got experience, the biggest advantage we give you is that we're going to tell you if it's a deal. And if it is a deal, then obviously we can use our money, get the deal done. You can use my, I can disposition the deal by selling it. But people think, oh, I don't have a buyer's list, so I don't have money. Buyers and money always come to good deals. But knowing what a good deal is really the tough part. So I would say, more importantly, when you work with somebody like me, right, and I partner up with people all the time, the advantage is that we can tell you whether it's a deal or not, right? A don't is to take any numbers from the guy who's showing you the deal. So this I see all the time. Somebody goes, hey, I got this deal. The guy told me it's a $600,000 house. And I go, I couldn't care less what the guy told you. He is not going to tell you the truth. Or they'll say, well, the guy told me it only needs $30,000 worth of work. And I go, what are you talking about? This is like $100,000 worth of work. So anything that's said by a seller, you have to completely discount, right? Anybody who's trying to sell you the property is not going to be honest with you. Well, I'm not going to say not going to be honest. Because sometimes it's what they believe. But you cannot use those numbers ever. You have to do the due diligence and look into what the ARV is and what the repairs are yourself, right? So don't ever take those numbers. What else? I think that's it. I mean, I could do do's and don'ts for 7 weeks. So let me just tell you, thank you for watching, and I hope this was helpful. If you are interested in all the ways I can help you, go to howtoflipnewyork.com. If you are interested in a course I have that teaches how to do what I do, go to howtoflipnewyorkcourse.com. If you are interested in coaching, go to coaching.howtoflipnewyork.com. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe. If you're watching on any channel, please click the thumbs up and keep the comments coming. I post 5 times a week, so please keep the comments coming because I don't always have something to say. So thank you very, very much for watching.